Hello everyone, welcome to Sweet Tomato Vine Homestead. I'm Linda, and this morning I am in the garden, and it is a beautiful day to be in the garden. The birds are singing. It is an overcast morning, but I am starting a new project. I was telling you all that I wanted to start doing some worm casting, making my own worm casting. So I have some worms, y'all. This is a box that has worms in it. I ordered them online, and I want to start vermal composting. And that is meaning that I am going to let the worms be inside of a bin, and they are going to eat food, and they are going to make worm castings for me. And I will not have to purchase worm castings from the store anymore. So I'm hoping that this is what happens, but this is a project that we're going to learn together in, y'all. I am not an expert on this, and I have looked and done research. I've looked at different videos. I have read different articles, and I can't find two people that can agree on anything. Everything is you know, the main things that always come together is that you need the worms, you need some bedding. The worms grow pretty fast, you know, they reproduce, and you will get compost, but you have to make sure that you don't overfeed, don't underfeed. The worms need air. So I'm choosing a container. That was another hard decision to make, which container to use. So I chose a container that I felt like suited my needs. And I've seen compost worm bins that are black, that are small, that are large, but I wanted one that was clear, and I chose this size because this size is one that I already had on hand. I decided I wanted something that I could see the worms inside of it. I wanted to see them in the bedding or in the soil. I want to see them. I want to occasionally watch them. You need to decide if you're going to keep your worm being inside or if you're going to keep it outside. Those things can be very important depending on the area that you live in, whether you have very cold temperatures or whether you are getting very hot temperatures. And I had decided that when the weather gets very, very hot here, I will either bring my compost bin my worm compost bin into the garage or into the house. But I am going to drill some holes in this, and they need holes. It's going to need some holes for, I think some has to be for drainage, some has to be, now I've seen some compost bins that had the holes in the side. They did not have any in the bottom. They put a layer of rocks in the bottom, and so it's going to be up to you to decide which one that you want to use, because as you already know, I'm not an expert on it because this is my first one. I am excited about it though, because I would love to be able to make my own worm castings. I would not have to go to the store, and those worm castings are not cheap. They are one of the smallest bags that I buy, and they're always expensive for a very small bag. So I am going to drill some holes. I'm also going to collect something else. I need to get some, I want to go ahead and add some sand, some rocks and a little sand to put in here, because I want them to be able to have that. That is going to help with the digestion. So you can use some pulverized eggshells, or you can use a little sand. I've seen this in several of the articles that I read, that they do need a little grit to help with digestion. So I am going to add that. Not going to add a whole bunch, because it doesn't say, seems like most of the stuff that you're putting in here does not take a whole bunch. I'll let you see everything that I'm going to be using when I go ahead and build this, because y'all, it's another beautiful day out here, but it is another overcast and look like it's going to rain any minute day. So I want to get as much as I can get done, because in my previous video I did not get all the things done that I wanted to get done. But if I can get some of those things also did today in this video, it would be wonderful. But I can feel a little sprinkle now. So y'all, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, gonna be a change of plans, because it started to rain and I got excited trying to go fast, and now I got a hole in my container. Y'all really want to use this container, and I don't have another. Well, I got another plastic container, but like I said, this is the size that I really wanted, but I can go and get a smaller container to use. I'm gonna see if I can make this other container work that is clear. But if not, we're gonna end up with a bigger tote than this. I really didn't want to go any bigger than this, I wanted to use one like this because a lot of the videos that I've seen, they were using smaller ones. But like I said, it doesn't seem like anyone can agree on anything. And it does matter about how many worms you have. I have 100 worms here. This is what they came in. These worms need oxygen also. So these worms came in the mail late yesterday, and it was raining, and I could have made it inside, but I wanted to do it with you all also, and I did not have all the things that I needed to put together, and I did not have all the information that I needed also. So I did want to go ahead and wait till this morning, and it's early, and so I'm out here. This is the best I can do. Hopefully all of our worms are still alive, y'all. Hopefully no one perished in this transit and also having to stay in the house overnight. But the temperatures in the house overnight were nice temperatures. I don't know if they had all the oxygen that they would need, but this is what the bag looks like. I think it's upside down. But these worms, they are, they're living things. So they need oxygen, they need some air. So it's very important you make sure to get some holes in there. Don't tear up your container trying to do them fast like I did. But I'm gonna get another container. Okay, so this is the container that I ended up with. This is gonna be pretty big. I may have to get some more worms, to make sure I have enough worms for this container. This container is kind of large. I'm not sure, but this is what we're gonna start with. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna try to make these holes without tearing up my container. Okay, so I managed to get the holes at the bottom without putting a big hole in my container, but there also needs to be holes on the sides. And I'm trying not to get my holes too large because they said that sometimes your worms will leave, but that's if the worms supposedly not happy. If the worms don't get enough food, or the worms are living in a environment that is not satisfactory, because it seems like these worms kind of picky. They want it to be moist but not wet, moist but not dry. So you just got to be kind of trying to figure out what these worms thinking at all times. So we're gonna go ahead, put some we got the drainage hose. We're gonna put some air hose so they can get their oxygen, proper oxygen. So we want to make sure that they don't suffocate in here. And we're also, the variety that I have are, I think they're red wigglers. I think that is what I ordered. And so there are some different ones you can get. I ordered the red wigglers. They said that was one of the best ones to get. So I will be talking more about that later as I learn more. Okay, my daughter had the idea that we should go back and pull off these little pieces of plastic that were in the way. She loves animals, and she want to make sure that they have the proper oxygen. So we're pulling out most of these little plastic, because some of them did get back over the hole. So just going back and removing the plastic that did not come all the way off. Some of them are kind of hard, but I did make extra drainage holes to help with that. So we want to make sure we have enough drainage, not enough air holes. We want to make sure we have enough air holes. Okay, so now we're going to start to putting in the resources. And I told you first I want to add some sand and some rocks to the, I'm going to put some rocks in the bottom, then I'm going to start adding in the bedding. Okay, so these are the rocks that we're going to use. These are some Red River rocks. We're going to put these in the bottom of the container. And I'm not going to start trying to pick these up one by one. I'm just going to try to rake them into my shovel. And y'all, that's one thing that I had decided that, these are worms. So this, they can't be too short. I'm just saying. They've been in the sand and soil and rocks, and they've been probably eating mostly you know, and whatever is in there. So it's not like, I don't think that you should be worried too much about everything that you're putting in here to try and say, well, this, you know, this is not going to work, or, you know, that is not going to work. Some things you just have to try, and then if you find out that they don't work, because one of the other things that I did gather from the research that I did is that they don't need a sterile environment. If they get a sterile environment, they're going to leave. They won't soil. They won't compost. So I'm going to spread these rocks out. And see, these rocks will break down also, and just like it has over here. These rocks have started breaking down, and it has left some sandy grit. So this is what those worms like. They like this sort of grit, and this is what they need in form of grit to help them to break down their food. So we've got rocks, lava rocks. I think that's going to be a good source. If it's not, we'll find out later. But right now, I'm learning, and some of you probably learn along with me. And for you experts, please weigh in. Tell me if it's something I've done wrong that's going to make a detrimental effect, have a detrimental effect on my worms. Let me know. So now we're going to move to our next step. We're going to add some bedding. Okay, so another thing that is recommended that should be put in here is some cardboard. And so it says shredded cardboard, and I saw a lot of them that went through a lot of shredding processes to get it shredded up, but we're just gonna tear it up. And what I've already had is this compost out here. I've already had this cardboard out here in the compost bin, and so it is very wet, or very moist. It's not wet, but it is very moist, because you don't want it dripping wet. So you can see that it is just moist. And so I'm going to tear it up. It even has a few, I see a few, I'm gonna shake these, I see a few ants on here. I'm gonna shake them to the ground. Not trying to start a ant bed over here, trying to start a worm compost. So we're gonna tear this up. I see a few those roly-poly bugs are in there. So go ahead, I'm gonna leave them, because the worms, when they're out in the open, they have all these other components. These other insects are out there with them. I don't want to put anything in there too drastic, but I don't think a few roly-polies are going to hurt them. This will make them feel right at home, having these bugs in here. They're going to end up, a few ants are going to eventually end up in here anyway, because this is going to be outside. And that's why I really want my worm compost to be outside, because I don't need any of these other insects inside the house. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to rip these up, add them. And they are not completely shredded, because I'm going to also be adding, and I've seen them do this in layers. Mine is going to be kind of mixed up, because I also bought out some paper towels. And so these are paper towels that have been used just to dry hands. And so that is a way to repurpose these paper towels, and not to have them, you know, just totally wasted. You can use shred up your paper products and use them again. Everything, you know, is not always going to be perfect in society. You don't have, you know, I know some people don't use paper towels. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. If you don't use them, you don't use them. We use paper towels. I got something in here. I'm not going to put this in here because it has some ink on it, and I'm trying not to get things that have a lot of ink, excessive ink on it. But I am going to be using more of these paper towels to create bedding. I don't want too much, and I ended up getting a little, that's some onion peel right there. They like those. They like the banana peel It is recommended that if you're going to put when you put your scraps in there, your food scrap, please do not put any meat in there. You can add a few leaves in here. I'm looking at leaves. I'm talking and looking around, but you can add some things that are going to compost. And don't add meat, greasy foods, any dairy products, or anything like that to your bin. Now, some people might do that. Then if that works for you, but these are the things that I've found in my research that they say that you do not need to do. So I'm going to try to stick to most of the things. You know, I am that person also who tries to not have a lot of rules in the garden. But if something has been proven, I try to go by that until it's unproven. So I'm going to add these wet or damp. I keep saying wet, but they are not wet. They are wet, but they are not soaking wet. They're not where you can wring them and something comes out. And it has started to rain again. And I'm going to put, a spider. Y'all see the spider?
So,
my daughter loves pests, and she's trying to get up. I'm going to get this out the way. Where did it go? But we're going to add all of this newspaper as part of the bedding. And I'm tearing it up, but I am not completely shredding it. And you don't want your stuff compacted in here. You want this to be a nice environment for these worms. And if it's compacted, they can't move around as good as you would want them to go ahead and get this job done. They probably can move around because worms, that's what they do. They what's on me?
what?
Okay, so I am going to go ahead. I'm going to add my soil now. I'm going to add soil on top, and there are going to be a few. I would like to have some soft soil to add. So this is some soil that I have in a pot. I really need this soil for something else. Oh, I have some peat. I'm going to add my peat. Okay, so this is what I'm going to add. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put some of this compost in here. Just going to sprinkle some. Not going to add a whole bunch of this. Just put a layer of it. It started to rain again. Okay, now I'm going to put I got some peat. And the reason I'm putting this peat at the top, this is for my purpose. I want to be able to see the worm castings. I want to know when I've got my worm castings. And I think that I can see, this is my idea, is that I think that I can see my worm castings in this peat better, because you know how this peat looks really red when it's, well, I don't want it to dry, but you can see it looks more red. And so this is where I want to have my worm casting show up. And I can tell when, it's done, and it'll be something I can show you all. So here are my worms. And this is the thing that I am not sure about. Where do you put the worms? When do you put the worms in? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting in my food. And the way that I've seen everyone do the food is they put a little well in here, and then they add the food into the well. What I have is some shredded lettuce, and I shredded it up pretty fine, but I've seen that you don't really have to shred it up that fine, but you don't want to start them out with a whole bunch of food. But I do want to give them a little variety, so I have some, I got some onion scraps. Gonna add that in. Also, they said limit the amount of citrus that you put in. So this is an orange that had been sitting in there for a while. No one ate it, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna add a little of the orange, not a whole bunch, but this food will be available to them. You're constantly making kitchen scraps, so there's never any shortage of kitchen scrap. Peeling potatoes, things like that. This is banana. It's a banana peel. And this one I took with me in the car one day, and I did not finish. Because whenever I go somewhere, I always take a banana and some water with me. Okay, so those are some scraps for the worm. And I'll add a little more. I seen this. And y'all, I even got some lint. I got some lint that I can put in here, but I'm gonna put this paper towel in here. But okay, y'all, it's time for the exciting part. I'm not gonna put that paper towel in there. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna leave it like that. I think I got enough paper towels in the bottom. I'll figure that out. If I figure I need to put some more paper towels in there. But I'm gonna go ahead now and I'm gonna open these worms. Okay. Y'all read your manufacturer's directions. I didn't read the manufacturer's directions on this. I know it's a whole bunch of stuff in here to read, but I don't have time to do all that because of the fact it's been raining a lot and because of the fact that I'm trying to see. I don't see them. They're red wigglers. I'm going to try and let you all see them. I'm going to bring y'all close up. Okay, I'm going to gently, well, first I'm going to kind of cover their food a little with this soil. That's what I saw everyone else do. Gently cover the food somewhat. Okay, so I'm pouring over there. I see them. Y'all look at those worms. Those worms. Y'all, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get all excited like that, but look. Y'all look at these worms. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm trying to calm down. Y'all look, though. And look how they are going into, they're hungry. They are going into the soil. I am loving this. See, that's why I wanted to have it where I could see. I really wanted to have it where I wanted to see it. Y'all, this container is, I don't know. I may get another plastic container and start a second one because I really want to see. I don't want to move these, after they've gotten in here and they're enjoying this food. I don't know, y'all. I might need to put some more food in there because these weren't acting like they are hungry. I am so happy. I ordered these off Amazon and it was, okay, it's live worms, worm nerd. So if y'all want to order those off of Amazon, I'll put the link that I used to order mine. But y'all, this is so exciting to me. And y'all, my daughter's out here with me. She is, I don't know how she's videoed this for me because she is holding the camera right now, but she's excited as I am. And she has a big smile on her face. But I would urge you to do this with your children. And this is so exciting. I would really could sit here and watch this all day until they all go underneath the soil. Okay, but this next thing that I'm going to do, I also have to put some holes into the lid that I'm going to be using. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this video and that you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed. And go ahead and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.